My name is Karl Weaver. My Chinese name is Wei Kar. I'm the Global Biz Dev Director for ITOS.io, based here in Singapore. So Web 3, we're not quite there yet, but we're moving from Web 2.0 into Web 3.0 now. And really, it's a new phase for the decentralization of the internet. And with that decentralization process, well, obviously you need the blockchain. The blockchain will be used in this decentralization process. And so Web 3.0 creates a lot of interesting opportunities down the road. So blockchain technology allows you to own the data and control the data as well. Additionally, you get to monetize the data. You get to monetize the data to create a tokenization scheme with the data. So it's really about providing trust of the data in the blockchain. So to move into Web 3.0, there are really 4 characteristics that need to occur. Blockchain technologies and IoT and machine learning, something called semantic web technology. Also, you need trust and you need permissionlessness, and you also need connectivity and ubiquitousness. These are all important factors to move into Web 3.0 using blockchain technology and all these other technologies. It's really a trivergence of technologies that we're talking about here, and it's really about providing trust in the data online. And that's really also what ITOS does. We take IoT devices and we add the ability to bring the data on chain for these web services and make them trusted on the blockchain. That's what ITOS.io does. Well, for ITOS.io, there are challenges. One of the biggest challenges is explaining to, especially enterprises, the use case, because they keep asking, what is your blockchain use case? And we try to explain to them that, well, you actually need to deploy these technologies before you even utilize the blockchain, because the blockchain's major value is trust in the data, the integrity of the data on chain. So therefore, we explain that blockchain technology and distributed ledger, or DLT technology, is quite critical. AI and machine learning, of course, the semantic web technology is critical. And then the Internet of Things. And so with the Internet of Things, you're actually creating an ID device management. And from this ID device management of the thing or the device, you're actually taking the hash of that and you're creating a digital fingerprint. And that digital fingerprint is brought into the blockchain in order to determine the integrity, the authenticity of the data. That's the main thing. And so really it is about data and monetization economies. Those are the things that Web 3.0 can really gain intrinsic value offering. Data and monetization or tokenization, really. Tokens and tokenization. So that's a very, very important element. So I guess you might be asking, what's a great example of migration from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0? Well, there's a company called Helium in the United States. There's a new startup. They used crowdfunding to grow, and within a 2-year period, they've actually scaled tremendously. They provide something called LoRaWAN technology, LoRaWAN IoT technology, and they back that up by partnering with a company called Dish and then FreedomFi. So they're actually integrating the Internet of Things with a blockchain and also now 5G technology. Dish is a new operator in the United States. So you can see, deploying Web 3.0 technologies, a small startup scales so tremendously in such a short period of time. That's because of all the things and the characteristics of Web 3.0 that I discussed. This is the reason why this kind of company can scale. And we think that there'll be many more companies that will utilize Web 3.0 and those characteristics down the road. Well, we see lots of opportunities for young professionals to work in Web 3.0 environment. And actually, if you think about it, it's really about incentivization and incentives when you migrate to Web 3.0, because that means tokens and a tokenization scheme or program, because we're moving into a tokenization economy. So there are great opportunities for those students. So we actually encourage them to understand that in Web 3.0, we're really talking about a trivergence of technologies, and that is the blockchain, IoT with machine learning, and the Internet of Things. And we believe they should really look at how they can integrate into a business model, into a plan for the growth of their startups, how they integrate those technologies into Web 3.0, because really it is about trusted data and taking that data and monetizing that data online and creating a token scheme or a token strategy. Because when you take digital assets and tokenize them, that's an incredible incentive program for companies like, I mentioned already, Helium. There's other companies like Dymo who are creating cool technology for cars and creating tokens as you drive the car. And even a Hive Mapper, a company where you put a little dongle in the car and you're actually mapping as you drive. They all use a token incentive program. So we believe that these young executives here will and should look into using these kinds of technologies as they migrate into Web 3.0. One of the very cool things about Web 3.0 is actually some of the hype about metaverse and NFTs. But I want to specifically focus for these young Singapore enthusiasts here with Web 3.0 about NFTs. What are NFTs? Well, they're called non-fungible tokens. And they're very, very interesting because they really allow the creator, the data creator or the artist to take something that you've created and really monetize that online, the ability to monetize this online and actually own and control that data and get a fair market value for the content that you're sending onto, let's say, OpenSea, onto an online marketplace. That is very, very alluring for young people to be able to own a part of the internet. And really, Web 3.0 is essentially having the ability to you yourself own part of that internet without having huge corporations control your data. Because in the Web 2.0 world, what we've seen is huge companies prostituting your data online for their own purposes, obviously to send you advertising for things that you don't necessarily want and need. And it is all about taking back self-sovereign identity for you, for your data, for devices. And really, Web 3.0 is quite a revolutionary thing that we know will happen, but it will happen when all three of these technologies, and maybe even more technologies, we haven't even discussed the metaverse, which is really about a digital, a virtual, and a physical environment all merging with blockchain and with Web 3.0. That's what the metaverse really is. It's part of it is AI, AR, and VR, but it really is something that's coming down the road as well. I wanted to mention that briefly here because all those will be part of Web 3.0. Well, it's quite optimistic because Singapore is this fantastically innovative place, really innovative. So we have a vision that we know people are talking about blockchain all day long. A lot of it is in the DeFi space, and that's quite all right, that's fine. But we have a vision to integrate the Internet of Things with blockchain in Singapore and perhaps create a monthly event called the IoT and Blockchain Night or some other name. But really it's the ability to take these, and of course we will include the ability to discuss AI as well. But it's really taking these trivergence of technologies here in Singapore and letting entrepreneurs, students, professors, teachers, giving them an inclusive voice to discuss these integrated technologies together here in Fusionopolis, the Innovus building here. We really want to be able to do that and bring all the talents in Singapore and combine them for Web 3.0. It really is about getting all the talent in Singapore and even out of Singapore, Southeast Asia, and really integrating them with public speaking opportunities here at our facility to discuss Web 3.0 and these technologies that we're also integrating. So it's a mission actually that I have personally. So we know we can do it.